Silent Circles is one of the most famous impossible levels in Geometry Dash, and because of that, for years now there have been several attempts at trying to adapt this level into something playable in the top level of play in the game. Recently, a new Silent Circles remake has started to gain some attention, as the current verifier has the level in 2 runs, and the level itself is much more faithful to the original Silent Circles than Zynvire's version, which is the main Silent Circles remake that gained traction. It's been almost 4 years since that was verified, by the way. So today I wanted to highlight why I think this level is the best Silent Circles remake that we've seen so far, and Silent Circles related things I hope we can maybe see one day in the future. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel and you'll see more videos like this, and without further ado, let's get into the video.
Before I fully get into starchman's version, I feel like I have to talk a little bit about Cherry Team's version, because yes, they are also making a remake.
Non-zero chance they call it Silent Circles Infinity, by the way. It's difficult for me to compare this to the original Silent Circles or starchman's version because it's just not Silent Circles, like, at all. It feels like an entirely different level, and that's fine. Like, I don't think it really works as a remake of Silent Circles, but it seems like it's very much clearly not trying to be, because the end of the level was literally just this. The decoration does not look like it's going to be trying to emulate the original Silent Circles, and there's like a billion shake triggers and a bunch of other gameplay differences, so it's clearly not trying to be as faithful to Silent Circles, which, again, totally fine. That just means that I don't prefer it as much because I like to see remakes that are a little more faithful. This version of the level feels more akin to Zynvire's version in the sense that it does its own thing with the level and has an extension and so forth, and so if I ever were to make a full video about it, I would judge it as its own separate level and not a remake of Silent Circles. I'm sure it'll be a pretty good level. I hold no animosity towards this version of the level. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on that version of the level so far, as if Cherry Team will ever finish a level that isn't fucking Cosmos related. I do also want to clarify that I don't think that we should really be comparing starchman's and Cherry Team's versions, because they're clearly trying to be very different things. Just because Vernum is being retarded about it like usual doesn't mean it has to be like a Deimos versus Deimos situation again. So one of the biggest reasons why I like starchman's version so much is that I think it does a really good job of balancing originality with faithfulness, because to some extent you can't really make a 100% faithful remake of Silent Circles that can be verified. Like, the original version is just physically impossible, and I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon. If Geometry Dash is still popular when humans are able to get body modifications that make them capable of 400 CPS spam, then maybe, but that's not really in the cards right now. I think the most faithful possible version of Silent Circles would probably be something along the lines of the exact same level as Silent Circles, but the spams have just been nerfed to be exactly 15 CPS, which is the Impossible Levels List spam cap, if I recall correctly. That being said, I don't think anyone would want to verify that, because that sounds significantly less enjoyable than even the stuff that people do today, like playing unnerfed Zakupan circles. Partially what I like about this level so much is that in comparison to previous remakes of the level, this level is much more faithful in its gameplay, and the biggest reason for that is that it actually tries to incorporate the spam. Because the original spam is so mind-bogglingly fucking impossible, the Zynvire version never really incorporated it into the level, but I think this level does a really good job of incorporating the spam in a way that looks engaging and varies its gameplay throughout the spam. It also does have some sections that are completely abandoning the spam structure, but I think that it's okay, because a large chunk of the song that is normally the spam in the original version is still a very similar set of gameplay inputs in this version of the level. Everything before the spam is pretty much the same as the original level, and I think the decoration does a really good job of emulating the original vibe of the level. There's a lot of 1.9 objects utilized in a lot of the block designs, the colors are pretty much the same, there's actually a circles effect in the first part of the drop, unlike Zynvire's version, and the level is actually pretty difficult by today's standards. Currently it seems like the level is going to be somewhere around top 5 to maybe top 7-ish. And while I think this is one of the few upcoming Extreme Demons that would probably make a lot of sense as a top 1, I can understand why that wouldn't be the priority, since a lot of levels that prioritize being top 1 end up sacrificing things like gameplay integrity. And while it might not be overall that enjoyable to play this level because it's a Silent Circles remake, it's possible that making this level top 1 is just not worth it, especially because the gap between the top 5 and top 1 right now is insane. Besides, being in the top 10 now, in terms of difficulty, is so much harder than Zynvire's version, which was nerfed to be, if I recall correctly, even easier than Silent Club, which drew a lot of attention and drama to the level, because why would you call something silent if it's easier than Silent Club? But obviously that isn't going to be an issue if the level is in the Year of Our Lord 2026 top 10. when Tartarus isn't even in the fucking main list anymore. It's also clear to me that this level was made by a team of people who genuinely have a passion for the game, and it's full of decoration that absolutely meets feature-worthy standards, but at the same time isn't necessarily concerned with trying to be the most eye-catching thing in like a YouTube thumbnail, which might be a pain when I'm making the thumbnail later, but that's not the point. What I'm mostly trying to say is that I think the level does a really good job of having the decoration be faithful to the original in the sense that it has the same colors and has a lot of 1.9-ish vibes to it, while also being overall just really good decoration without overcrowding the screen in a way that can be kind of overstimulating, which I think happens a lot more these days as the competitive nature of decoration in this game has just gone nuclear. I think maybe a good example of this would be Amethyst, which I think does look really, really good, but at the same time, when I look at the level or like a showcase of it, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, whereas this level does not have that problem. This level isn't without its flaws though. I do think that there are a couple things that could have helped the level be more accurate to the original in some ways, or just small ideas I would have. Like the spam before the actual corridor spam could have been a nerfed version of the original in some way, without it being basically automated. And I do think the decoration before the spam does feel a little out of place with the rest of the level, but I still think it's fairly solid. Overall, I'd probably say this level's like, I don't know, like an 8 out of 10. And I wish the absolute best of luck to the verifier Doobs. Probably butchered their name, but they are very talented. And of course, props to Jules, who was the previous verifier who gave her absolute best to the level as well. As for what I want to see with Silent Circles in the future, I do hope that someday we get a remake of the level that is literally just Silent Circles, but the spam has been nerfed to be possible. I don't know if we really will ever see that, nor do I necessarily think that that is something that I am like super hyped about right now. I just think that that could be a really interesting top level in a few years, simply because that is the closest we could get to the actual level being verified. I am still curious to see where Cherry Team's version of the level goes. I am always impressed with their decoration. I think it would make more sense to call the level something along the lines of Silent Circles V2 or something, or at least something that communicates that it's trying to be something that differs more from the original than what a classic remake might offer. I do hope both versions of the level get rated. I think Starchman's version will probably end up being out on the servers at some point relatively soon. The verifier's been making some very quick progress with the level, and was even given a copy of Grief to just like mess around with a little bit, and did a lot of really good runs on that level. So I have full confidence that we will see that much sooner than the Cherry Team version. That being said, the rating system is like pulling a rabbit out of a hat, so I have no idea what will happen, but I will say I do think that this level has much more going for it than Zynvire's version when it released. So I'm optimistic about it receiving a rate and getting placed on the list. If one good thing has come out of recent drama in recent months, it's that more levels that I think deserve to be rated have been getting rates. And I think even before that development, that this level probably would have been rated. So we'll see. So yeah, that's everything for today's video. If you did enjoy, again, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton, and I need money for college, so this is what's happening. Comment down below your thoughts on this version of the level, and maybe if you like a different version of the level more, please remember to keep things respectful with everybody else down there. And comment down below if there's any other upcoming levels that you think I should make a video on. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.